You know that feeling, right? When a story just grabs you and refuses to let go? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how those stories work. More importantly, we're going to figure out how you can write one of your own by unlocking the power of the narrative essay. But first, let me ask you something. Think for a second. What's the last story that really, truly stuck with you? Could be a movie, a book, maybe something a friend told you over coffee. What was it that made it so memorable? Just hold that thought. We're about to figure out the magic behind it. So, what even is a narrative essay? Well, at its core, it's a story with a purpose, a story that makes a point. This isn't just a diary entry or a list of things that happened. No, it's about taking something from your own life, a personal experience, and using it like a lens to look at a much bigger idea. It's storytelling with a mission. Okay, so how do we build one of these things? Well, just like any good building, every great story starts with a blueprint. And that's exactly what we're going to look at now, the basic anatomy, the absolute essentials of a narrative that really works. And here they are, the four pillars holding up every great story you've ever heard: plot, character, setting, and theme. I mean it, if you get these four things right, you are well on your way. So let's break them down, one by one. First up, you've got the plot. Think of this as the skeleton of your story. It's the simple sequence of events, the what happens next. This is the structure that everything else is going to hang on. It's your roadmap from A to B. Next, we've got character. Now, if the plot is the skeleton, the character is the heart. This is the who of the story. In a narrative essay, that's probably going to be you. This is who the audience connects with, who they root for. Without a character we care about, the plot is just stuff happening. And of course, you need a setting. This is the where and the when. But listen, a good setting is so much more than just a backdrop. It's not just wallpaper. It creates the whole mood, the whole vibe of the story. It can even feel like a character itself sometimes, really influencing what happens. And finally, the big one, theme. If plot is the skeleton and character is the heart, then theme is the soul of your story. It answers the most important question of all. So what? Why does this story matter? This is the point you're trying to make, the big idea that makes your personal story feel universal. All right, we have the blueprint. We know the four main parts. But what about the tools? How do we actually put it all together and bring this thing to life? Let's open up the writer's toolkit. Okay, if you remember one thing, remember this. This is the golden rule. Show, don't tell. Look at the difference here. You could just tell your reader, the room was scary. Fine, but what if you showed them? The floorboards creaked underfoot as shadows danced in the corners. See that? One states a fact, the other puts you inside the room. It creates an experience. It's a total game changer. And to really get good at showing, you're going to want to use these tools. First, sensory details. Don't just tell us what you saw. Tell us what you heard, smelled, felt. Bring the world to life. Next, dialogue. Let your characters actually speak. It reveals so much. And finally, have a clear point of view, a consistent lens so your reader always knows whose journey they're on. So we've covered the blueprint, and we've got our tools. But let's just zoom out for a second and talk about the big picture. Because why does any of this really actually matter? Why is telling your story so important? It's because this is way bigger than just an essay for a class. You know, stories are basically the operating system for human beings. It's how we connect, how we understand each other, how we make sense of this crazy world. Being able to tell your own story effectively, that's a genuine superpower. The amazing Maya Angelou put it perfectly. She said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." And that's so true, isn't it? We all have these stories inside of us, the ones that made us who we are, and letting them out, giving them a voice, that's not just an assignment, it's essential. Which brings us right here to the last and most important question, the one I want to leave you with. Your life is this incredible collection of moments and perspectives that nobody else has. You have an entire library of stories inside you that are uniquely yours.